If your tire went flat, would you know how to change it? At You Pull It, they can teach you about your car and its needs, and today they're teaching us how to take care of business if we're stranded. Mitch Smollen is the operations manager at You Pull It, and it's great to have you here today, Mitch. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Well, before we get to the business at hand here, tell me about You Pull It. What do you do?
Well, down here at You Pull It, we are the Metro's largest auto parts recycler. We have 2 locations here in Omaha, one at 5600 South 60th in between Q and Harrison. The other is in, right north of downtown Omaha at 1405 Gray Street. We have thousands of vehicles on site. We're taking vehicles in and out of the yards 5 days a week, up to 50 cars per day per yard. So our inventory is forever changing. We also have our website, youpullitnebraska.com.
Okay, so that's a great resource. What do we find online?
If you go on there, you can check our inventory. Any of the other smaller questions that you have, you can get on there. Everything's answered pretty laid out, cut and dry there as well. There's actually a section there you can sign up. If you're looking for a certain vehicle, you will get an email when that vehicle gets set out into the yard.
That's convenient.
Absolutely.
Okay. So before we get started here, and you teach, because you've got some of the tools laid out in the interest of time, but let's say I'm driving, and this isn't just hypothetical, I've been there. I'm driving down the highway and something feels off, and I'm afraid my tire's gone flat. What's the first thing I need to do, Mitch?
In any case of emergency, if you have any sort of doubt, pull over, put your hazards on. Rather safe than sorry. Even if nothing is wrong, get to the side of the road, get out of harm's way. Make sure that, most importantly, you are safe and you're out of everybody else's way.
Okay, so then we start to check it out. But I noticed you put the hood up here. I mean, we're talking about changing a tire. Why do we need the hood up?
The hood is kind of the universal distress, I'm in help, look over here signal. No matter what it is, that just kind of alerts everybody else on the road to, hey, look over here, I might have a problem.
Okay, so here at the tire, we're changing the rear tire on this car. What's the first thing, if in fact this was a flat tire, what do we need to do?
Well, if the tire is flat, like I said, you start with the hazards and the hood. Locate your jack and your spare tire. If there's any confusion, typically they're going to be located in the rear cargo area of the vehicle. If you're not sure, check your owner's manual. That will give you all the information that you actually do need. But in this case, like I said, everything was located in the trunk of the vehicle here. Your jack, your lug wrench I have placed on the ground here.
You've already got everything, I see, 4 loosened or off completely.
Yes, indeed. I got the 4 off, like you said, just for time. The 1 is just finger tight here. You can get that one off here real quick. But before you get that far, you want to start with the location of the jack itself.
Okay, why does that matter, Mitch?
Safety is your #1 concern when doing such a major repair like this, being you have the weight of the vehicle off the ground.
Right, you don't want to get hurt in the process.
Correct, and that's also why, on that same note, I have that spare tire placed under the vehicle.
Okay.
Right there. If we're jacking this up and something does happen to slide or slip and you're already this far in the process, the vehicle isn't going to smash all the way to the ground. If your hand or foot was under there,
yeah. You've got
that's
this
your
to
safety
pad it.
measure right there.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, I've heard, and this was years ago when I wasn't listening to any adult who tried to tell me how to do this stuff, but I remember hearing something about where you put that jack matter so you don't affect the structure of the frame.
Absolutely.
Can you dent it or cause damage?
You can, yeah, you can't sacrifice the integrity of the vehicle itself, and that's, like I said, in the owner's manual, it will give you all the precise locations to jack up the vehicle.
Okay.
And there are actually little notches. If you could see under here, there's a little notch where the jack is going to sit in real firm and tight, prevent any sort of slippage for the vehicle.
And you can do that by yourself. You don't need to be, like, I don't need to look like you to get that
Not
done.
at all. Not many people need to look like me. So it's all right. You are fine.
Good for me. Okay.
You are fine.
Now to the tire.
Yes, the tire itself, you see on the ground here, I have the center cap. This will just slide right off. You use the end of the lug wrench. You place that underneath. That'll pop it right off to expose the lug nuts that are all on the studs there. You're gonna, before you jack the vehicle up, you'll want to loosen each one of those. Raise the vehicle, take the rest of them off. Like I said, they'll slide right off. You'll get them finger tight. You want to pull that off in right here. I'm going to slide this right where you are. Like I said, just for the safety measures of it.
Are you putting that
I'm
underneath
going
the
to
car?
replace them as well, yes.
Got it.
Because that wheel is what's going to save you in case something does end up falling. You'll place that right on the studs there. You'll line these up. Get them just started so the wheel stays in position.
Once you get this donut on, Mitch, do you need to think about speed or distance until you've got to get a full replacement put on?
Absolutely. And before you even get that far, when you're placing these lug nuts back on the vehicle, once you get all of them back on, you'll want to tighten them in a star pattern. So you'll start at the bottom, go up to the top, and just keep going across.
Why?
Why? Right.
No, I think that sounds kind
Right.
of,
That'll be sure that that wheel places securely and snugly all the way against the back plate itself.
So not clockwise, not counterclockwise, go in a star.
Correct.
Okay.
Just back and forth so it secures that tire all the way to the brake drum itself. You'll tighten them all with your lug wrench as much as you can with the vehicle raised in the air. You'll set the jack back down. Finish securing the lugs with your wrench just as tight as you can get them. Everything else back in the trunk of the vehicle. And like you said, this tire, you're not good to go. You're not done. This is just to get you where you need to be to replace that tire.
Because you know people who've driven on that sucker for a week or two. Don't do that.
No, no, ma'am. You want to use that just to get where you need to get to replace that tire, and
Take
that's
it from
it.
Mitch. Right.
That's it.
Mitch, thank you so much. I feel like this has been a really informative visit. Before we let you go, for our viewers who maybe they want to try this, maybe they're looking for a little bit of help, remind us where to find you and You Pull It one more time.
Indeed. You Pull It, YouPullItNebraska.com, 5600 South 60th, in between Q and Harrison, 1405 Gray Street. And also, don't forget about our location in Lincoln as well, off of, what is it, North 70th.
Okay, Mitch,
Sorry.
thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
it. And the Morning Blend continues here in less than 3 minutes.